And test. Welcome. Is my audio okay? Give me a shout on the comments. Are we okay? This is my first time doing a live Q&A. Oh. Let me mute myself there. Anyone? All right, let's wait for a couple minutes. I haven't done this before, so I'd like to welcome you, whoever is early here on my live stream. I've gotten like new, where do I look? Oh, I look at my camera. I've gotten new equipments. As you can see, I have a voice recorder here that I can use for my future videos and all that stuff. How do I see the comments? Oh, right there. Okay, perfect. Bear with me, guys, because this is my first time, like I said, doing this live. So I've gathered a lot of questions throughout my Instagram, throughout all the questions I've been getting from my past couple videos, which is really doing well. So thank you for all the thousands of views, 75,000 on my first travel vlog in a long time. That Vancouver to Manila vlog. So it's doing really well. And so I followed up with a quarantine vlog, and there's another vlog coming up soon. Debjit is here. Pare, how's it going? How's your flying going? I got your message, so we're all good. Bear with me because like I said, this is really, really awkward because I'm used to just looking at the camera, but then you guys are commenting all over the place. So as an instructor, I always go break the ice, do a little bit of conversation, but obviously I'm not hearing you guys, so I'm just reading all your comments. So let's try to break the ice here for the next couple minutes. Any questions that, under the sun, I can answer from, because I've gathered a lot of like travel questions. I do have a script here, so which is good. And wifey is right here behind the scenes. She doesn't want to, go on live on camera because she's my number one viewer. She is my number one critique as well. She's giving me feedbacks behind the scenes. Okay, first off, let me play my traditional song. Let me know if this is too loud or what. There you go. I don't know. Where do I begin? Oh, before that, actually, these are all my social media links. I've actually opened up a PayPal account. So for anyone who's a generous subscriber, why not help out, small YouTubers like me in this time of pandemic? I'm not begging for any money, but it's I'm not forcing anyone to donate as well. But just in case you want to, there's my link. Move over to California, man. It's easier said than done, but I do miss California. Okay, let's begin. Okay, so as all of you know, I have traveled from Canada to the Philippines under the new normal procedures of Philippine Airlines. So I've been getting a lot of questions with the eligibility requirements and all that stuff. How's the volume, by the way? Let me lower that a little bit. Eligibility requirements. As most of you know, I am a Filipino, former Filipino on paper technically, but now I'm a Canadian citizen. So I did not need the Philippine government did not require me to have. Oh, hi Ayla, how's it going? I can see your name there. Kamusta dyan sa Canada? The Philippine government did not require for any visa for me to come here. All I needed to show them is my Philippine passport together with my birth certificate. So there's that. So if you want to know more about eligibility requirements, I'll post them down below after this live and go from there. Man, this is actually going really well. How many viewers do we have? Jeez, 37. I was only expecting like 12 or 10 maybe, because I don't know if this is a good time. It's Sunday here in Manila, 1 o'clock. We haven't eaten lunch yet. Is my brother here? I thought I saw Ocean. Oh, Pipa is here. Hi, Pipa. I'm seeing a lot of familiar names. Names from like OG viewers here on YouTube from way back when I was just purely doing travel vlogs. But before that, sorry, I just want to flex this because I'm using this new software. Let me transition this because this is the topic that we're going to talk about today. Oopsie. There you go. Let me transition that. There you go. see him like a newscaster, right? This is the weather that's going on, and you know what I'm saying, right? Oh, Daryl is watching from San Pablo. I thought you were just downstairs. Okay. All right. So, man, like I said, eligibility requirements. All you needed is if you're a former Filipino, just show your former Filipino passport and your birth certificate. But more details, I can't remember on top of my head. Just check the link or check PAL's website. Another question I've been getting a lot is there a required negative swab test prior to arriving in the Philippines? No. As per current rules and requirements, we do not need any swab tests going here. In fact, actually, it's so easy in Vancouver. You just literally have to, because there's no one traveling nowadays. There's no prior requirement as well. I think it's easier for me to depart Vancouver than for me to depart the Philippines because I needed to show a negative swab test when I get to Canada. Okay, so another common question was, why was it 5 hours? Why did my wait time? Oh, I think Luis is messaging me. Oh my goodness, my messenger is blowing up. Why was it 5 hours? Why was my wait 5 hours? I don't know. You asked the Philippine government. I was frustrated as well, but I did figure it out a little bit because I was seated behind the plane. Oh, sorry, the back side of the plane. So I was kind of last to the plane. So I was basically at the back of the line. And when you get inside the terminal, you have to fall in line for a couple of booths. One is the DOT Tourism Hotel Verification Check, which I'm surprised actually because there's 2 lanes. One is for 3-star hotels or under and 4-star hotel and above. So I'm not sure how they're filtering out and how they're, doing their queues and how basically they're managing the lines. But it took me 5 hours. So it's unexplainable, but short answer is that I'm seated, at the back of the plane. I deplaned last, so I was at the back of the line. Okay, tips for hotel booking. See, this is one of the weird things with the Philippine government as well. They said they only required 6 nights. I read somewhere, but then... I read somewhere that PAL required only 6 nights. But then when they checked my booking, they needed 7 nights. So I'm not sure where that 7 nights actually, went or how did it pop out. It popped out of nowhere because I was under the impression that you get swabbed on the 6th day and then you only have to... Are we doing good, babe? 6th night, you get swabbed on the 6th day and then you do your 6th night and then you wake up tomorrow morning, you have the result, and then you basically go home and you get a negative result. So that 7th night, I guess, is just a cushion, an insurance, just in case your results came in instead of 24 hours, a day later. Hey, Clement, when are you starting? Oh, by the way, big shout out to my Filipino pilots crew in Vancouver. Clement just recently got hired, and he's my colleague now. So if anyone is looking for an instructor with similar Filipino style, maybe hit up Clement. His Instagram should be the same username as he has here. So there you go, free advertisement. You're welcome. Forms and documents available. So first off, I'm going to talk about the travel because I don't know, how are we doing with the views? Yeah, we're doing good. So I'm going to talk about the recent travel requirements, and then after that, I'll start answering the questions about flying, the future of the aviation industry, your pilot jobs, and all that stuff. Because I do have my personal opinion on it. Everyone has their own opinion on it, but you get the point. Swab test at the airport, I think I answered that. There's no swab test in the airport when you arrive in the Philippines. You now get swabbed on the 6th day in your hotel room. So that's clear. How did I manage my quarantine time? Well, YouTube. There was no other way around it, but just entertain yourself with Netflix, binge watch movies and series. In my case, I rewatched The Office for the 2nd time around, and edit videos and upload videos. Another question I'm getting is where did I stay in my quarantine? It's called Belmont Hotel. It's near NAIA 3, and if you request for a hotel room view, actually, let me just play this. Let me know if this is much better with an audio. If you requested a hotel, a corner room view, you'll get the airport runway 06 arrival, no departures, something like that. But you'll get a runway view is what I'm trying to get. I am in Manila right now. Do you still have to do home quarantine? No, actually, I did not require, my LGU did not require me to do a home quarantine because I think we have a fairly low active cases here. So I had to just show them my negative result and go from there. Any more questions about quarantine and all that stuff? Because how did I go from the airport to my hotel? Oh, actually, I did purchase a 1,280 pesos private shuttle, which is accredited by Philippine Airlines. It's fairly easy, actually. There's no one at the airport, so yeah. How much did I spend for my flight school, for my flight instructor license? Well, this is a common question I've been getting for like most of my viewers, because especially on Instagram, by the way, shout out to all my Indian followers from India. Hope you guys are doing well there. I know some of them are actually doing online ground school now from our school, and you guys have been bugging me consistently, which is, okay. I'm gonna answer it right now. So yeah, big shout out to you guys. Hopefully I see you guys somewhere around the school sometime soon. Like I said, where was I? Don't mind me asking, how much did I spend? Well, that's the thing. I did my flight school 3-4 years ago, relatively cheap back then. So in the vicinity of 55 to about 70,000 grand, which is relatively cheap if you're comparing that to when you do it in the Philippines, because Philippines and the Western culture have a different setup, including the States. So there you go. You can kind of do it at your own pace, just like a driving school. You just show up and be like, yeah, I'm gonna do a flight lesson today, but obviously you have to be prepared and all that stuff. OG viewer here. Collaborate with Kuya Mitch. I don't know if Kuya Mitch is tuning in, but maybe soon when the restrictions are more lenient. Ocean, hello. Yeah, okay. I notice you, Sensei. Okay, I will be getting mine tomorrow, pal. Okay, don't know what that means. How long did it... there you go. How long did it take to get your swab? Oh, yeah, 19 hours for my negative swab test result. The only thing that I found out here is that when you're waiting for the result, you can't help but overthink, because you're like, no, I know I'm negative, but like, there are variables in life that you can't control. What if you become positive? So it's just the waiting game that, that really killed me. But other than that, it was okay. I guess 19 hours is still fairly quick. Okay, might be a random question, but for someone who's coming from the US and doesn't have a mobile line in the Philippines... Oh, that's actually one of the most common questions I've been getting. How was the Wi-Fi connection at the airport to access all those QR codes? It's fairly good, actually. Excellent. Excellent Wi-Fi connection, but you do have to provide a Philippine phone number, because they actually, reiterated that for like a lot of times. When they're doing the briefing, when they're doing this mini announcements, you have to provide them a Philippine phone number, so you're reachable much better. Oh, hey Dad, how's it going? Is everyone watching? Is Mom watching as well? Oh my goodness. How are we doing with time? We're doing fairly good, 14 hours. So I plan on actually just going live for like 14 minutes. Oh, sorry, no, not 14 minutes. 30 minutes, but I'm still like just scratching the surface here. I'm not even halfway. So if you guys don't mind, we can just have a quick chat here. Not a quick chat, like a relatively longer chat here. Actually, as well, I've just recently enabled my super chat feature. So the way to support local YouTubers, low time, I should say, YouTubers, is showing them some love. It's some super chats and all that stuff. with my PayPal as well. You can donate so I can reinvest the money to a better equipment, because I am actually, for this year 2021, I'm planning on just being more active on YouTube. I know I keep saying that over the past 2 years, 3 years, but with my wife coming to Canada soon, I think we're gonna have like a more private life and more time with each other at home. That means I can sort of as well focus on my YouTube, because YouTube is just a home job, right? Doing Q&As like this, and it just makes it easier for me to earn extra revenue and expand my audience as well. Hopefully still inspire future generation pilots, because our industry nowadays is way different. A lot of pilots I know, up in that age, older, close to retirement, maybe got an early retirement because of COVID. So I'm hoping that the future generation of aviation is still passionate about their jobs, because in my case, give you a little bit of a life story here. I ever since 7 or 6 years old, I can't remember what age that was, I wanted to become a pilot. So my passion really lives deep in my veins. That being said, though, every time I go to work, not every time. Every time I go to work, I'm happy. I'm looking forward, because it's a challenge. It's an achievement. For any one of you who don't know what kind of work I do, I work as a flight instructor, as a pilot. I teach students. So shout out to my students, everyone who I kind of left back in Canada because I prioritize my wife. Because little do you know, or everyone knows, we just recently spent our first anniversary together. But anyways, going back to my story, even though like I was passionate about aviation for like ever since I was 6 years old, for pretty much my whole life, there are days that when you come to work that you still struggle. It's like you have to find that extra gear, because it's different. It's different when you just think of aviation, when you're just being inspired by a YouTuber like me, by a pilot. But when you're actually doing the job and you're stressed out with all the environment, it can be difficult to find that next gear and be like, yeah, no, I still love aviation. It's just like any other job. Sometimes there's good days, sometimes there's bad days. And that's why if you want to become a pilot, you really have to have that passion, because when adversity hits, you have to find that next gear, or that extra step, that extra mile, to really fuel your career. Sorry, I'm just being distracted here by. Oh, sweet, thank you, whoever donated 29, or Kyle D. No, don't be sorry. That's man. Thank you. That you're my first ever viewer. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. So a quick shout out to you, Kyle D, for that donation. Can anyone support themselves studying flight school in Canada, for example, while working in a simple minimum wage job? What will you recommend to support themselves without any help financially? Yeah, absolutely. Actually, let me tell you a quick story. When we first moved into Canada, that was way back 2014. Well, permanently I'm talking about, because as most of you know, OG viewers, have been kind of going back and forth to Canada ever since 2011, but I didn't move in permanently until 2014. So 2014, I got there. I really wanted to pursue aviation, but shout out to my dad. My dad wanted me to have a fallback, to become an AME, a mechanic of aircraft, just so I know how to fly the plane, and I also know how to fix it just in case I get stuck somewhere. That is the idea. Oh wow, thank you, JP. I appreciate that. My personal minimum. Sorry, let me pause here, because thank you guys for the donation. Personal minimums for flying, on top of my head, obviously just not going into IMC condition when you're staying VFR, or when you are just not pushing your limits. I can't remember my numbers, but you just have to stay legal. My threshold is a little bit smaller now because I've been flying a lot. Where was I? What is it? Babe, ano sinasabi ko? Damn, I forgot. Where was I? Somebody remind me. Oh my goodness, I forgot what I was talking about. um, I can't remember. Oh my goodness, I'm blanked out. Oh yeah, I remember now. Shout out to my dad. That's the last I remember. So I wanted to go. I wanted to do AME first because my dad told me you need to have a fallback. You need to have something that you can, just in case flying fails, because flying is super expensive. It's like you're kind of going into a med school in terms of financial expenses. There you go. I think that's pretty much it. I can't remember if I needed to add more in that topic of my AME, but oh, there you go. I remember the question. What will you yeah, no, when I was doing my AME, when I was doing my startup when I was doing my PPL, in the early stages of my PPL flight training, I actually had to work at McDonald's, and there's no shame on that. It's a minimum wage job, but it just gets me through just learning, the nooks and crannies in life, especially when you get to a new country, you don't know the culture. It's the best way of getting to know the people, and just the best way to really putting yourself out there even. So I had a minimum wage job. I saved up, and obviously my parents helped me out financially as well, but it got me through some lessons, I would say. Portion of my PPL and all that. Geez. JP, mine costs like 170K. Oh, because you have a degree. That makes sense. In Canada as well, there is what they call a partnership with a school, which I'm not going to mention because it's not a paid. This is not a paid promotion by that school, but a neighbor in a school close to ours, across the apron, has this partnership with one of the biggest college in Vancouver as well. So the tuition fee costs about, correct me if I'm wrong, about 100 grand Canadian. So relatively close, but other people, oh, including housing then. Okay, that makes sense then. All right. What is the most affordable way to become a pilot? How do I answer that? Just focus on your own craft. Just focus on your own studies, because the only way to make flying and flight school cheap is to avoid repetition of flights and to always come in prepared. And my students will testify to this, will agree to me, because this is my motto in life. You always have to come in prepared to anything in life. Be prepared, just like a Boy Scout, right? And that's probably the only way to make it cheaper. Obviously, you can't control what you can't control in terms of the variables such as weather, maintenance, aircraft being snagged. You never know traffic, especially in Vancouver when you're about to come to school. You've prepared. You're coming in an hour before, but then there's an accident in the tunnel, the Massey Tunnel, which is my Achilles heel. Every time I go to work, I always have to check Google Maps, because you never know what traffic does. So you can't control what you can't control. You only have to worry about what you can control, CAN, without not. Do you prefer a high wing or a low wing aircraft? I do prefer, I don't know if any one of you is familiar with Ludix Aviation. He prefers a low wing aircraft, but I do prefer a high wing for some reason. I do like the Cessnas, so there you go. Speaking of flight school with partnership with a degree, do you personally think that's the smartest move, or should? Honestly, in Canada, in the Western culture, they don't really require you to have a degree of some sort. But when you are taking your talents to Asia, I'm using LeBron James's famous quote here when he went to the Miami. He taking my talents to South Beach. But when you're taking your talents to Asia, to the Philippines, here in Hong Kong, China, or wherever, they might require you to have a degree. So that's unfortunate, because for people who really just on a strict budget, you kind of have to choose between your licenses and your diploma or degree. So, in my opinion, it really depends on where is your end goal. If your end goal is to just stay in the Western culture, such as Canada and the States, you don't really have to. But it's always nice to have a fallback. And to follow that up, I think there was someone who was asking if I do have a bachelor's degree. I have a bachelor's degree here in the Philippines. I finished BS, not the BS that we know, Bachelor of Science in Entrepreneurship here in UST, which is just a stone throw away here from our place. And then I finished a diploma course, a diploma program in Vancouver, in BCIT as an AME. Did you have trouble getting a job after you finished studying? No, actually, when I was in college in Canada, I got to work at the airport for a couple of companies. That was during the old norm back then when we were allowed to go out, maskless and all that stuff. And after my flight school, after my CPL training and all that, I wasn't able. I didn't really struggle looking for a job because the school just absorbed me. You know what I mean? So you have to have connections as well, and that's important in aviation. Does the airline pick your type of aircraft you fly? I'm not sure. I'm not an airliner pilot just yet. And that reminds me, my biggest pet peeve is that when people ask me, "Oh, do you want to become a commercial pilot, or do you just want to stay instructing?" If I do have a sound effect here, it's like I'm gonna use it now. But being a commercial pilot and a flight instructor is the same thing. I am a commercial pilot, and I have an additional rating to my license, teaching teaching student pilots. I can also be, like I said, I'm a commercial pilot, but then I can also become an airline pilot because I can put an add-on to my license, flying maybe in the future an Airbus A320, a Boeing 777, and all that stuff. Let me answer this. Oh, Avery just verified that information earlier. I heard they're 130 next door. I'm doing business plus flying in Abbotsford for about 150K with I don't know what a BBA is, but I'm assuming that's a degree or a diploma. Okay, let me answer this. Sorry, I missed that. Hi, Kuya Paul. It's Tita Lizel's son. Hello, how's it going? I don't know if you still speak Tagalog, but kamusta? How's your BCIT experience? I recently got accepted. Well, congratulations first. It was good. It was one of the most memorable years in my life. I know I've said that in my previous vlog before because I did learn so much about, how do we fix planes, about the airplane systems, which if your end goal is to become a pilot, going through flying school will be such a breeze for you because when you do your flight test as a pilot, you will be tested on the ground with the requirements to stay legal with the airplane systems and all that stuff. So you will find familiarity in those when you go through the BCIT program. It was so easy for me that I basically had to use some of my notes when I did my AME for my flying school. Okay. Oh, JP, thanks again, man. You don't have to do this every time, but hopefully everyone follows along with this trend. Jeannie is, I think, a previous student at our school. Is your flight test an open book? Flight test is sort of an open book, but obviously you can't be like, okay, for example, I'm the examiner. You get asked a question, right? Okay, examiner goes like, so tell me, what are the documents that we need before we go flying? You can't be like, okay, let me open my notes and be like, these are the requirements that's needed for flight or that's needed to stay legal. You can't just do that. Obviously, you have to remember some information on the top of your head. If you forget like specific details, you can open your notes. You can do that. How much hours do you currently have right now? I have 700 plus hours. Last time I checked, maybe close to 800 hours now. PIC. I do not have any multi-engine time as of yet. Unfortunately, maybe when I get promoted in my flying school, when I start teaching multi-engine, then I get multi-engine PIC time. Why did I visit the Philippines? Hopefully I can have my wife here, but she is currently working behind the scenes, making sure my technical audio and all that stuff is being well taken care of. I went home for her. Okay, yeah. Let me check here. Man, I did not anticipate a lot of questions from the live chat. I actually had to copy paste a lot of the questions that I got from Instagram, but I think most of the questions are similar in a way. So hopefully we can do this again. Don't get me wrong. Let's do it again tomorrow, something like that. What's your dream airline to work with? Oh, you know, that's a very good question. When I was a young boy, I really wanted to work for PAL because I've flown that airline numerous times, gazillion of times. I know a few people who's working there, so shout out to those people who's taken very good care of me and my family throughout the years that we've been flying Philippine Airlines. But yeah, if I do get the chance, but maybe not anymore because the wifey and I, we're gonna settle in Canada for the rest of our lives. So I guess WestJet, for just the sole reason of I just really want the color of the uniform and the color of the airline. It reminds me of Vancouver Grizzlies. If you're a big NBA junkie, NBA fan, we used to have a team in Vancouver. So yeah, that's part of the reason. I know it's weird, but yeah. Obviously, Air Canada has a better, I guess, pay or pension. So maybe that's the ultimate goal. But I kind of want to try WestJet sometime in the near future. You only say things that you know, and there is more. Wait, more. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree with that. Do all full-time international students at Pacific Professional Flight Center get postgraduate work permit? I cannot answer that in their behalf. Not all, but I know some. So there you go. I know a few. Obviously, character is a big thing. So if anyone is curious, I work at Professional Flight Center based out of Vancouver in Boundary Bay, BC in Canada. World's busiest flight training airport. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. I don't know if that's true or false, but this past 2020 has been ridiculous. Just flying there almost every day. It's just, I think every day I earn a gray hair. I gain a gray hair because of that. Will you have a merch? Ocean asks. Yes, that's one of my future plans. I shall, and I'm looking for suppliers here in the Philippines. I will be posting my merch shop soon, and this is my stepping stone towards my ultimate goal of having an aviation store in Vancouver. So for the 77 concurrent viewers that we have right now, you are getting a premiere information spiel leak from this live Q&A. So that's the goal, to have a side business, because aviation is not forever. You never know when you can't pass your medical anymore because of underlying issues in your health. You just never know. You have to prepare for the future. How is my live Q&A so far? Is everyone bored? Is everyone still interested? Because I can keep going for the next half hour here. My wife and I hasn't taken lunch yet, but we actually had a late breakfast, so we're cool. Still, I guess we can keep this going. Is it hard to get accepted to work as an airline pilot in Canada? Oh, that is a very good question. Experience matters in Canada. Unlike the States, where it's sort of easier to get into the airlines because of the vast number of airlines that you have there, in Canada, the competition is a little bit tighter. That being said, though, once COVID is over, I feel like the demand will still be back there, and most of our kind of old retired pilots that were forced to early retirement will be gone. So they're gonna have to replace the roster with new generation pilots. So I'm really hoping, and I'm still positive and optimistic about the future, that we still have a career. But obviously, it takes two to tango, right? The government needs to help us out, and we also have to do our jobs to save our industry. Is it still a good idea to take up avionics maintenance courses at this time? Yeah, absolutely. Because by the time COVID is over, and hopefully in the next year or two, you'll be done with school. And then, all these jobs start coming back, and you can start putting your name out there as well. Any entry level aviation job is golden, because when I first, kind of put my foot in the door in aviation, I applied for a local airline, a local YVR operation company as well. Airport company at YVR, local airport company at YVR, just to get these companies in my resume as well. And by the time comes that I'm ready for my pilot job, an airline job, they'll see my resume and be like, "Oh yeah, so you've been working at YVR, you work at this airline and all that stuff." So it's important to still do whatever plans that you have, because by the time, like I said, this crisis is over, jobs are still there or will be present again. Kuya Paul, have you been in Alberta? Hope to meet you soon. One of my inspiration to do vlogs. Yes, and I am actually the wifey and I and the whole family. We are planning on going back to Banff and Calgary and maybe Edmonton for the first time this summer, 2021. Top 3 inspiration in the aviation industry, and what are your biggest challenges that you had during your PPL to my instructor? Excellent questions. Top 3 inspiration. Let me think. I could not really. See, that's a difficult question for inspiration, because I was inspired at such a young age that my basically my inspiration is just myself and all the aviation movies and documentaries I've watched at such a young age. It opened my eyes to just wanting aviation even more. The biggest challenges, I would say weather is the biggest challenge. Things that you can't control, like I said, because it just throws you off rhythm. For example, you're having this like good 1 week streak of good flying, and then the next week for like 7 days it's bad weather. It just kind of throws you back to square one. It gives you a curveball. So that's one of my biggest challenges. And then another one perhaps is just managing time, because as most of you know, I was in a long distance relationship with my then girlfriend, became fiance, now my wife. So the personal life is kind of getting in the way. So there are days that you come to school and be like you're prepared mentally, physically, but mentally you're not really there. And when you force things like that, it can be bad for you, because we're talking about safety now. We're talking about a repetition of flight if you don't do well on that flight. So I guess that's one of my biggest couple of my biggest challenges I had during my PPL and CFI. And for CFI, it's just finding that confidence, that next level confidence, that next gear, to really present in front of a group of students, to really showcase your talent, your knowledge, so that these students, gain something from you. Because my biggest fear is not being able to give out to my students, or giving lackluster performance, I should say. Because every time I go to work, it's almost like, you have to put like a happy face sometimes, because whatever mood that you have in an instructor will affect your student. So sometimes you have to forget about your problems. You have to come in and be like, okay, man, I have to perform for my students because they're paying you well. Okay. What's your favorite Boeing 7? I said it. Boeing plane. It's 777. I don't know if I have a 777 here. Yeah, it's broken. This is my 777. Philippine Airlines. Okay, let's see. What would 3 basics be that you wish your students would know that would impress you as a CFI? Not really knowledge-wise. I would be more impressed if the student just come in on time, even like 30 minutes before, prepared with the lesson, because at least in our school we give out like homeworks to our students. So I'd be more prepared to really just having a conversation. I'm sorry, be more impressed to just having a conversation with him as to me presenting and going to the blackboard or the whiteboard and opening my PowerPoints and be like, okay, this is what we're going to talk about today. I try to avoid that as much as I can because I'm not that kind of instructor. I'd like to have a conversation like this, like a Q&A, right? What do you know? Elaborate on that. Okay, this is what I know about this, about that topic, and I'm going to add on to that. What is the process like for getting a medical checkup, since I wanted to ensure that I'm fit for flying before committing to training? It depends. If you are in the States, in the US, what am I saying? If you are in Canada, it's easy. You just have to Google Canadian Aviation Medical Examiners. Just book one and you can get your medical. Don't quote me on it. Rules and regulations change. So, yeah, you can do your kind of own research there. Thanks for my vlogs. Okay, you're welcome. Having 6 friends pursuing the same field before going to flight school, I made them watch your videos. I appreciate that. Thanks so much. It's really cool for me to know that I've been inspiring a lot of people, and I want to keep that going. Okay, let me go to the questions I have had here. I think for the most part I've answered most of the questions because they are all similar, like I said. Let's see. Let me go to Instagram. Let me go to Instagram. Let me look at... Oh, I actually did get a lot of responses. So that's good. Okay, let me just filter this out. Let's go back to the travel requirements again. Can foreign nationals visit the Philippines, Canada at this time? I believe if you have a travel exemption of some sort, or if you have a ano tawag doon, babe? Family reunification. Yeah, if you have like a immediate family, my Filipino accent's coming out. Immediate family member in Canada, then you may do so via a temporary resident visa or your PR. Oh, Naz sent me a message. How was your 300 nautical mile trip? Man, it's one of the most memorable flights that I've had. So I've actually spent it, for anyone who's curious, I did my 300 with a buddy of mine, Naz, who's flying as well in Boundary Bay. I hear him a lot on the radio. So like I said, aviation industry is so small. Tuition fees, I kind of answered that. But that was from 2 or 4 years ago even. So tuition fees right now are obviously more expensive. As a pilot, which do you prefer, flying in Canada or flying in the Philippines? I have not flown here in the Philippines. I'm going to ask permission from my wife. I kind of wanted to fly in the Philippines, but at the same time, the reason why I'm here is to step away from aviation for a bit, because seeing and flying a Cessna almost every day, it's almost like I want to puke because it's you again. It's this tight place again. It's this cramped up small plane again. So I kind of want to have a relaxing month to step away from aviation. Oh, Kenneth is tuning in. Hello, pare. Kenneth is one of my OG students, one of the first students I recommended for flight test along with Nauto. And by the way, speaking of that, one of my future plans is to have students like Kenneth and Nauto join me in my Q&A, so that you will hear firsthand from them how their experience was like under my mentorship, my coaching, and more than anything more than anything, being a Canadian, what am I saying? Being an international student in Canada, international student pilot. So I'm gonna have them soon in my channel, so stay tuned for that. Musta po, layo na narating mo before. Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, I used to be just a kid doing these cringe-worthy now travel videos from way back then from 2012, 2013. Little do you know, I'm actually one of the OG YouTubers here in the Philippines before it actually blew up to be right now. How did I manage all my finance for training? Did you have to take a loan? Yes. My parents helped me out with bank loans. Unfortunately, I don't think there is a student loan for CPL in BC. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you are in Alberta or any like other provinces in Canada, but as far as I know, British Columbia does not have any student loan for commercial or PPL. I can't remember, but we just went to the bank and loaned some money for my commercial. Yeah, it's not a cheap career. It's definitely an expensive career, but at the end of the day, it's all about rewarding yourself and having a rewarding career. Imagine your office being at 30,000 feet. Obviously, I'm not quite there yet. I limit myself to 10,500 feet when we're doing cross countries. That's the highest I've been, I would think. I can't remember, but yeah, I fly Cessnas, which on average you just fly 2,000 to 3,000 feet above the ground. So there you go. So that's my office. Still pretty good compared to other office workers. OG viewer here still could remember your Filipino accent. My Filipino accent when I just moved to Canada, pretty much different from your accent right now. I know it does change up. Living in Canada, it really changes you. So I was actually quite surprised to myself because I did not think that my accent will change one bit, but it actually did. Yeah, for anyone who is just tuning in right now, concurrent viewer 74. So I'm still maintaining your, I guess I'm still piquing your interest. So about maybe I'll give myself like 14 more minutes here, and we'll do it again next time. So for any one of you who just tuned in, welcome to my live Q&A. This is not the first. Sorry, this won't be my only time doing this. Definitely my first, but won't be my last. So welcome to my Q&A, where we just talk about aviation in general, whether it be travel requirements, going to the Philippines, to Canada, to pay respects to my OG viewers who tune in for all my travel flight vlogs, which thankfully a couple of my recent flight vlogs are doing so well because of you guys and making sure that you still subscribe, like and subscribe, just reminding you, and follow my links here below. If you are generous enough, there's my PayPal link. You can donate some money, which I can reinvest to my equipments. Because as a flight instructor in Canada, you struggle a little bit in terms of financial because you are so weather dependent, right? Unless if you are instructing in Nevada or California. Yeah. Let me talk about quickly my plans because I do have limited time. One sec here. I'm still getting a lot of messages on my Instagram. Let me talk about my plans in the future. So, like I said, my plans, I'm having guests in the future, Q&A. So you hear from them firsthand, maybe to again, pay respects to my OG viewers. I'll have Kuya Mitch, Airline Travel and Airports channel here on YouTube because I still remember the days when we were just, we were just the two YouTubers who's doing this travel videos and all that stuff, airline and travel. But now it's different. Everybody seems to be doing it. So I'll document my trip back to Canada as well with the quarantine requirements there. I heard it's not that good compared to the quarantine hotels here in the Philippines because you get that Filipino hospitality. So I've been hearing a lot of horror stories, so it should be interesting. So watch out for that. I will definitely vlog that. And my return trip is on April 1st week, so keep that in mind pending any delays or any cancellations by Philippine Airlines. I will also document my staycation here in Manila, the requirements to go to hotels, You need to get a swab test because I think my wifey and I were gonna have our second honeymoon in a 5-star hotel here in the Philippines. All expenses paid by her, not me, because I'm broke. Because I'm saving up for our trip in Calgary this summer. So that's another video, and obviously the flight vlog, the actual Philippine Airlines flight vlog from Manila to Vancouver. So watch out for those videos, and also I still have a lot of like pending flight instructing videos from Nauto, who is very responsible because he's been filming a lot of my flight videos recently. I haven't been using my GoPro because I'm a lazy instructor. And I should say lazy YouTuber. I'm so lazy putting up cameras, recharging them, deleting the memory, and putting new memory cards in my. Basically, you get the point. Ocean, are you planning to do a new normal vlog in the Philippines? Yeah, I'll do one for sure. It feels different here in Manila now. It's like Sunday every day. No one is outside. It's crazy when you go to the malls. When we go to the malls for grocery and shopping, literally almost no one. How hard has been to earn actually, when you become a flight instructor, it's so easy. Sometimes I even lose track of my hours because you're flying every day. You're gaining so much hours. You're trying to verify your hours because it's quick. You earn hours so quickly. Would you suggest getting and investing on a really good headset rather? Yes. One of the most common questions I've been getting for student pilot questions is that I'll just invest in a cheap $200 $300 headset, but like after a year or so or 6 months even, that breaks. What happens? You send it back to the manufacturer. They fix it for a fee, and you're lucky if you have like a warranty, or if it's covered by any extended warranty. But in my opinion, just go for the Bose or the Lightspeed headsets, because my Bose, I didn't bring it here in the Philippines, but my Bose headsets cost about 1,200 Canadian, but 5 years now it hasn't broken down on me. So it's a very good investment, and you can sleep on it too with the active noise reduction. What is your current license, or are you I'm actually done with my training. I'm not working on any license or any rating. I am working as a commercial pilot, as a flight instructor teaching student pilots in Canada. And my long-term goal is to become an airline pilot in Canada as well. Yeah, I guess I can still hang around here until people lose interest and I'm seeing all the viewers kind of decrease. But we still have about maybe 10 minutes to just talk. So for any one of you who's just tuning in, we have that super chat function. Any humble donation is greatly appreciated for very low key. Low key, is that the word I'm looking for? I guess not popular YouTubers such as me. Very, yeah. What else? Does my wife have any questions? She says nothing, but she's still tuning in, so that's good. How many hours do you need in order to apply into the airlines? And also, are you applying for Air Canada or Philippine Airlines? I will try to apply for WestJet, and Philippine Airlines may be off the radar now because I will be settling into Canada soon with my wife. How many hours? They require at least 1,000 hours, sometimes 1,500, depends, because nowadays the pandemic has changed the way we do things, right? And that includes aviation. They have cut down the staff, so now meaning they're not even hiring us as of this moment. How many hours do you flight solo during? I guess you're asking how many hours I went solo. I went solo at around 22 hours during my time. That was 5 years ago. Let me see if I missed questions here. I want to give a quick shout out to my OG viewers again, to the people who are generously donating on my super chat. Kyle D and John Paul, JP from California. My wifey is showing me yeah, we're doing like this behind the scenes. Which aircraft maintenance category did you take in BCIT? Oh, it's you again, Keitaro. How do you say your name? Let me know what your first name is, or if this is a username, or if this is your name. I know you're Tita Lizelle's son, so I'll see you around in Vancouver. Hopefully soon we can meet up for a coffee, obviously with social distancing and all that stuff. For any one of you who's, agitated by the topic. But my aircraft maintenance category was category M. I finished it in 16 months. Like I said, it's really fun. I learned a lot. I'm still applying as a flight instructor now, teaching my students. Salary of a flight instructor or commercial pilot in Canada, that varies depending on your experience. Obviously, me being a newbie instructor I've only been teaching for a year. I cannot disclose any of those information, unfortunately, but you can just quickly Google that and you'll find out the number. I'm so sorry. I cannot I cannot just publicly say that, but our job is very weather dependent. So if you're flying, obviously you're earning a lot of money, but if you're not flying, you're not earning that much money. You can focus on the ground with your students, one-on-one instruction, or you can do ground school, but the job is very fluid. Every day, you plan your day to be like a certain way. It does not happen 100% of the time. When and where do you plan to put up your merchant coffee shop? A question from Mommy Cathy, my mommy who misses me so much. I know my mom. Let me put some music again. Let me play this 90s kid. There you go. I do plan on putting that up somewhere around Boundary Bay Airport. Maybe a cheaper real estate there. So that's my plan for anyone of you who lives in the Lower Mainland Vancouver. There's only one shop, one aviation store in Vancouver, which is called. Well, this is not a free advertisement of any sort, so I'm not gonna name the name. But you can just again Google that and you'll find out. But I'll try to put that up. I'll try to be the competition, but I'll be far away from them. I'll be in Boundary Bay, and in collaboration with my wife's future goal, or my wife's ultimate business goal, to put up a coffee shop. Which we do have a coffee here, babe. Can you hand that over? Let's. I'm not gonna show the brand, but might as well, I want to cover the brand, but I'm gonna sip some coffee because my wifey wants to put up a coffee shop, so might as well put that together. Put one and one together. Back to zero po ba ang flying hours sa Philippines pag nag-transfer ka sa Canada? No. As long as you're able to prove that those are legitimate hours, meaning you have it logged on your logbook, signed off by your instructor or by CAAP, by the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines, then you can transfer those hours, as far as I know. But obviously the licenses and the ratings, just like when let's just put it this way, in the movies, the Filipino movies, right? When a Filipino person goes abroad, for example, he's a doctor here. When he goes to London, to the US, to Canada, he's not automatically a doctor anymore. He's not automatically a doctor and just, basically continue his career there. So he has to do some extra studying, pass a few more licenses, a few more ratings, in the aviation case, rating, but you get the point. So for pilots from the Philippines to go to Canada, to the States, yeah, your experience will matter in terms of your hours because you can transfer it there, but at the end of the day, you have to do your conversion. You have to convert your license. You have to take extra exams. You have to pass those exams, those rides, those check rides. Question from Joyce Caseja. Not an aviation question. That piqued my interest there. Will you bring Janica with you when you come back to Canada? Watching from Montreal. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, we've been getting a lot of news recently because she's still processing her papers. So I will go ahead a month early, but she will be coming soon. So that's the good news. For sure, she is coming soon. I'll just come back to Canada a little bit earlier because I don't want to get fired from my job, and I still want to do flying, right? They've only allowed me to do some extended vacation because because wifey is still here and pandemic. How do I plan on getting my 1,500 hours? Excellent question. By being employed still as a flight instructor, and that's why I will be coming home a little bit earlier. So her and I will do. I've asked her. Actually, I've contracted her now to do a flight vlog from Manila to Vancouver because I have this thing now. I can do voiceovers for her because we want to inform you guys how rules and regulations are changing on a monthly basis. So I'm traveling in April back to Vancouver. Wifey's traveling to Canada this coming May. So there might be differences with rules and regulations there. So I will. I've contracted her, like I said. So I'm asking her to vlog the trip for me so I can upload it here. Do you prefer a 172 or a 152? I do prefer a 172 because Naoto, if you're still watching, can you let them know why I don't want a 152 anymore? I know my students, a lot of the students at school, when they approach me and they ask me to become their instructor, the first question that I always get is, do you fly a 152? And I'm always in this dilemma that, yes, okay, maybe I can do it. It depends. I can only take a limited number of students for 152. I cannot do it on a back-to-back flight basis. Definitely cannot do it purely off of 152 because I'm a 5'11" human being and I don't exactly fit in a tiny aluminum container. So I do prefer a 172 for that matter because my back hurts so much on a 152. Can Indian student work as instructor after your CFI? CFI is the general term for flight instructor for any one of you who's wondering. But in Canada, CFI means Chief Flight Instructor. So let's differentiate the both. In Canada, without job offer prior to pre-WP, what are my chances in getting PWP? That is a tough question because you guys are under the impression that I actually went to Canada as an international student, which is false, and it's not the case. I actually got to Canada because of my family. We applied as a family sponsorship, and I'm just an ambassador for international students. And unfortunately, I don't have the answer for this. You may want to contact my students. 90% of them are international students, so I believe the answer is no. Stop it, Carlo. 152s are the best. Yeah, maybe we can wrap it up here. Last two questions perhaps, but thank you guys for tuning in. We can do it maybe on a weekly basis. So let's do it again. Oh, hi Mark Pua. How's your training going? I know you just recently passed your CPL flight test. Hopefully you're still doing good wherever you're flying. All the best sa iyong flying career. Mark is a fellow churchmate of mine who is also living in Vancouver, BC. Sorry guys, I'm skimming and scanning through the questions. I'm trying to answer as much as I can. Let's wrap this up so that you guys are not saturated, just like my students. Every time I do briefing, teach them lessons. I tend to talk a lot because I'm a very talkative person. So sometimes I want to keep myself in check, and in this case my wife is keeping myself in check because I'm falling in this loop again that I just keep talking and talking and talking. Yeah, last two questions. Have you failed any check ride? No. Praise God. Out of the 5 check rides that I did, I have not failed any flight test or check ride. The only key for that is to really just be prepared, right? And just accept your fate. If you do fail a check ride, it's okay. Just like Michael Jordan, failure is part of the success of your success. Even Elon Musk, because we do have our maintenance person. His name is Elon, Ellon, and it's pronounced as Elon. But Elon Musk is Elon. So Elon Musk, even told or is a believer of failure. So if you're not failing, you're not succeeding. So there you go. Thank you, Enzo. Buzzer beater. Thank you so much. We'll do it again. We'll do it again for sure. Okay. Let me know if this time works for you guys. Because I know it's 10 p.m. now in Canada. And it's 2 p.m. here. And do you prefer weekdays or weekends? Let me know. You know where to reach me. And then let's see here. My wife is handpicking questions here. Do you have plan to have an aviation? Very good question there. Actually, my wife has a how do you call that sa mga TV show? Prompter. You can see Vice Ganda. We're watching Vice Ganda. My wife is my real time prompter here. Yes, I'm actually planning on having an aviation podcast. So make sure you tune in for that. I'm not sure what platform I'm going to go for, either Spotify or Apple Podcast. Let me know down in the comments. I'm still doing some research because as a coach, as a mentor, naturally, I want to still motivate students to go to aviation. Right, and I'm bridging that gap from your passion to achieving your career. So I think podcast is such a neat tool to be able to, listen to me on the go. For example, you're driving to work, you can have my podcast played as opposed to this live Q&A when you really have to sit down and look at me and watch me, right? So yeah. Okay, let's finish it up here. I know I keep saying that, but these are definitely good questions. When is the next live Q&A? Maybe sometime this week. Let me know. I'll try to have a poll on my YouTube channel. If you guys prefer the weekdays, if you prefer the weekdays, okay, let's do it another maybe in 4 days from now, 3 days from now, because I'll focus my time on the next couple days here editing the next video. And then I have done 15 hours flight time, and I've done also my first solo, will my flight time be accredited in Canada if I choose? I think yes, but you have to have it certified. That's the key word, certifying your logbook. What video editor you use? Final Cut Pro. Okay, it looks like this works. 11 p.m. here in Calgary. That's good. 12 a.m. now somewhere maybe in middle Canada. So thank you. How do you say your name? Neilbert? But I know you are an OG viewer, so shout out to you. Thank you for tuning in. I will publish this live stream, and I'll try to answer the questions that I missed on my Instagram, on this YouTube comment page, video page, and we'll go from there. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Podcast soon. My merch shop soon as well. Everything will happen this year for sure. So I'll just keep you guys posted on my Instagram and all that stuff. More videos will be coming your way as well. Hope you guys are enjoying my newfound, enthusiasm editing videos in a cinematic way, which I showcase on my first video of travel vlog in a while, my Philippine Airlines vlog. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you guys being here. It might be late for some other people, and some other people are having a siesta on a Sunday afternoon here in Manila, in the Philippines. I'll see you guys around. I'll see you when you see me here in Manila. Don't forget to say hi. When you see me back in the school in Vancouver, say hi, because we'll have a conversation all about aviation. Let's try to save aviation. The industry is really struggling now, but let's keep planting the seeds, because that's important. Never stop planting the seeds and watering your plants. Keep it growing. In about a year time or two, we'll have a much better industry. And I'm doing my fair share, because this is my calling, I believe. All right, guys. Peace out, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm so hungry and I'm so thirsty as well. This is so tiring. I've been speaking for 1 hour. Reminds me of my everyday grind in the school. Cheers, guys. I'll let you guys know when my next podcast, or sorry, live stream would be here. Thank you guys for the positive feedback as well. Peace out and stay safe. Catch you guys on the next one.